time again, we gotta lay 5 feet of track, and in the process, we're gonna be metal detecting for gold nuggets. Now, I know you've seen me put track in before, so keep them pants on, but it's just part of the process. And if you're good, maybe we'll go down in the sump and I'll take an auger down there and see what we can grind up. Look at that. See how dark that is? That's that nasty red worm sump mud. It's rich, but oh, you know what's down there. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is the sump of the mine. This is the very lowest part. And we punched into a very rich seam of clay down here. It's got a lot of water, it's got a lot of nasty clay, and of course it's got that nasty red worm. Now, I've tried to figure out what that red worm is, and nobody's been able to identify it. And there's plenty of them down here. We've only found one. And they move really fast, and they're about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in diameter. You can see where it stays wet all the time. See that? And we're slowly digging our way down there. We might start running a drift off from side to side. Of course, you know what that means. That means I gotta deal with them worms, and if there's one, there's probably more. And I told you before, I still say I'm sitting on top of a cavern, some type of cave system. Sounds hollow, and it's simple to drill through this. I can run a 2-foot drill bit through this like it's just falling through. So we'll deal with this later. Let's get back to the drift, because I gotta put some track in. I know, it's boring, but it's part of the process. All right, there's my track. See how much further we've gone? Can't get my ore cart in there. Makes mucking with my muck stick a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna be taking this big old monker right here and going to town, because jackhammers are tight. And as I continue to punch down with this big old 50-pounder, we'll continue to metal detect, because right now I'm not getting much of a signal. What I need to do is bring a PI machine down here, and that'll give me so much more depth. That way I don't have to do this in stages. So all right, enough jaw jacking, let's get on to getting it on. And if we find anything, I'm gonna go ahead and show you, so don't worry. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on time lapse right now, because I don't want to bore you to tears. So once again, you get your choice of music. How about some long hair? You want some long hair? Not bad, huh? How's that for a working face? It only was about maybe 1.5 tons. But I want to show you something. Another reason, fellas, you should listen to your wives. Take a look at this. See that? That's solid caliche. You can't even get through it with a hammer. There's a piece of it right there. This stuff is harder than concrete. If I had continued going in the direction I wanted to go, we would have been getting slabs of this stuff, and it would have taken forever, because we got to keep the floor of the drift at a constant level. That way we can get the track in there. That means we'd have to probably drill and blast, and that's a whole lot of work that I don't want to do. But when we started heading the other way, I didn't find any of that stuff. In fact, I found nuggets. All right, there's the caliche beds here. See how it swells out right there? And then over there where my shovel is, look what's down below my shovel. Do you see it right there? Look at that. No caliche beds and this beautiful red material. See that? That is nice. And it's resting on top of this false bedrock right there. See that? That is beautiful. I'll go ahead and throw up snapshots of the nuggets that we dug out of that red clay seam right there at the end of the video. But right now, I got some sleepers to put in so I can get some track in here so we can get some more gold. Oh, one more thing I wanted to show you. Look at this. See that? There's those roots again. I wish I knew how to grow roots. And I got them down here. There's another one right there, down here at the bottom. And I got little tiny ones all over the place. Now I know I've told you this guys before, but for the new folks out there, I just want to reiterate something. Every piece of equipment that you see down here, every piece of lumber you see down here, everything comes down via this shaft. And it comes down via that skip bucket. And while we're talking about it, I see a lot of YouTubers out there that do a lot of mine exploration. I want to clear something up. If you see wooden rails like this, especially if they've got this side that's cut at a 45, that means they were running a skip bucket. The bucket would ride in between this. It'd get wedged in between it and ride on up. And there'd be a dumping mechanism at the top. Exactly the same thing that we have in our drift mine. If these are standard 4x4s and there's a rail on them, then that would be a skip car. Skip bucket rides in between, skip car rides on track. And everything we got inside this mine came down via the skip bucket. Now I've already gone ahead and cut the track that we need to length, 5-foot lengths. I've already installed the fish plates on the end, and I've already curved the track too. Since we're making a right to where my wife told us to go, that's where we're going. Now a lot of people ask me, Jeff, what do you guys use to bend your track? We use a hydraulic tube bender. We've made modifications to the rollers on it so the track will lay flush inside of that tube bender, because if not, it would rock to the side. And that way we got nice consistent bends every time. We just mark out our track and bend it to the degree that we need. Now in the old days, they used what was called a Jim Crow, and that was a manual track bender back in the day. You'd put it on the track and you'd crank down on it, bend it when you needed a bend, and you had to kind of eyeball it. Now today, what they use is the same thing they use on the railroad, is a hydraulic rail bender. And while we're on the subject, a lot of guys out there ask me, Jeff, what size track are you running? Well, we're running 10-pound rail, 14 gauge. And this is what it looks like. Little tiny baby rail, same stuff they use on live steamers. Very effective, it does the job, and it's not that expensive. Yeah, I know, I can hear it from here. Enough jaw jacking, get on to laying that rail, Jeff, because we want to see it installed so you can keep digging and find that shiny. We'll keep them pants on, cut a brother a break. I'm getting to it. Maybe if you were down here helping me, I could get this work done faster, huh? All right, I got the sleepers all installed, and they're all at the right distance, about 8-9 inches apart. And we got our level. You can see we are right on the money. I'm gonna go ahead and fasten these in with a track gauge, and then we'll backfill them. All right, first thing we're gonna do is put our fish plates together. See our fish plates right there? Those are called fish plates. That's what locks one piece of track to another. These might be smaller, but they all do the same thing and they all look alike. Now remember what I told you about fish plates. Keep your nuts on the outside. The reason why is because you don't want the flange hitting the nut. So you keep your nuts on the outside. Hey, maybe I should come up with a t-shirt that says, "Trackmen keep their nuts on the outside." We got the fish plates in, nuts out, like I always tell you. Now we're using our track gauge. And what this is gonna do is ensure that that track stays at the right distance, which we're running 14-inch all the way down. And that way we don't have variations in there and the ore car doesn't come off the track. So we'll use this first, get the last one buttoned in, back it up, and then go through all of them, backfill, and then I'll test it out and show you what it's like. Tell you what, laying track is no joke. It'll test your metal. Now on my screws, I'm running a 2.5-inch multi-purpose screw, and then for my washers, I'm running 3/16 by 3/4. It's perfect. It locks this thing right into place. What I'll do is I'll put my track gauge in like such. I'll put the outer ones in first. That way it forces the track up against the track gauge. Then I'll put my inner ones in. Just like that. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of time lapse here because I don't want to bore you with 1,000 screws. So once again, you get a choice what kind of music. I'll give you a hint, it has to do with bumblebees. Now, have you noticed that the track has a slight pitch to the inside wall here? And you'll see that in most mines. Well, think of a racetrack, how when they go around curves, that track is pitched to the inside of that curve. And the reason why is, as that ore car is full, you want that center of gravity to come in as it's going around a curve. So you tilt the inside track in just a little bit. You'll see that on rail lines all the time. So that's what we did here. So I'm gonna go ahead and backfill this, level it off, and then we're gonna run the ore car over it, mine car, and then see how it performs. But I'm not gonna do nothing till you smash that like button, son. Smash it hard! And here's what it looks like all backfilled. Real pretty like. Nice. Look at that. Isn't that the prettiest track you ever saw? Huh? Whoa. I'm liking that. Right up to the working face. Yeah, all right, let's try. Let's put the ore car on and see what it does. Nice. Nice, right up to the face. Not too shabby, huh? I know, that's what it takes to go 5 feet at a time. All the mucking, all the carving for the sleepers, all the track has to be bent and fit. But that's what it's like to be a gold miner, I'll tell you what. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button, smash it hard. And if you got your own stories about working in mines and laying track, I'd love to hear it. Go ahead and start up a conversation by leaving me a comment down below, because I'm sure everybody would love to hear that. Anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. So until next time, this is Jeff Williams, and who? Saying you wanna be a gold miner because they find so much AU? Why don't you come on down here, son of Jim, give me a hand. I'll even take 2. Take care, everybody.